Are you a member of a church where you're highly involved? I've got 3 things that are going to happen in your church's future. One of these 3 inevitably will happen. Either your church will close, or Jesus will return, or there's going to be a pastoral transition.
And we want to help it be a successful, healthy pastoral transition.
That's right. I'm William Vanderbloemen. This is my friend and co-author Warren Bird. We've studied hundreds of churches and written a book called Next, Pastoral Succession That Works. You can actually go to nextpastor.com and find resources and more information, but we wanted to take a minute or two and talk to you about what members of the church, board members of the church could gain from reading this resource. Warren, talk to us.
Well, every chapter, the book is written to the pastor with the board members looking over the pastor's shoulder. And every chapter ends with a question for the pastor and a question for the board member. And they're often different questions, but the whole idea is when the pastor is at that point, or frankly, when the board is at that point, because
right.
We do deal with what happens if the pastor needs to move on, but
hasn't quite heard the call.
Yes, we deal with all kinds of varieties, and it's guidance for how to have a healthy, helpful discussion. Here's some good information. You can react to it, against it, for it. Well, what do you think about this? It's the ideal tool for a board to work through with their pastor.
And no matter the age of the pastor.
Yes.
If they're 30 years old, we give you a guideline. Here's what you ought to be doing every year to be ready for when that day comes. Here's the financial planning you ought to be providing for yourself as a church and for the pastor as they leave. It's really a great resource.
And you are absolutely right. It is not for the pastor's last months or retirement years. Well, yes, it will cover that, but so much more. Every church, as we begin in this video, every church, unless Jesus comes back, has to begin thinking about what's next. That's one of the most important decisions and strategic decisions that any board needs to work, whether with your denomination or non-denominational. This is a tool that can walk you through.
Well, and it's one of those things that seems important but is never urgent until it's too late. So we just encourage you to make this urgent. Read the book, go to nextpastor.com and join our conversation. Thanks so much for being a part of your church and helping move the kingdom forward.